One of the most controversial technologies of recent times is facial recognition, which is being increasingly used by security agencies around the world to tackle crime and enforce law and order. The technology has raised concerns of privacy and mass surveillance. Tech giant Amazon has now announced that it is implementing a one-year moratorium on police use of its facial recognition technology. Amazon has, however, said that it would continue to allow organizations like Thorn, the International Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and Marinus Analytics to use Amazon recognition to help rescue human trafficking victims and reunite missing children with their families. Just earlier this week, IBM had terminated its general-purpose facial recognition and analysis software products. The company's CEO, Arvind Krishna, in a letter to the US Congress had stated, IBM firmly opposes and will not condone uses of any technology, including facial recognition technology, offered by other vendors for mass surveillance, racial profiling, violations of basic human rights and freedoms, or any purpose which is not consistent with our values and principles of trust and transparency. We believe now is the time to begin a national dialogue on whether and how facial recognition technology should be employed by domestic law enforcement agencies. Often touted as a tool that can help law enforcement agencies to quickly track criminals, facial recognition technology has courted controversy for the enormous potential of its misuse and lack of regulation. Critics have been pointing out that the efficiency rate of the technology is pretty low, and mistaken identifications can land law-abiding citizens in trouble. In an article published in the print last year, Vidushi Mada, lawyer and a researcher on artificial intelligence and human rights, stated, in 2018, Delhi police reported that the facial recognition system on trial was operating at an accuracy rate of 2%. In 2019, when the accuracy rate fell to less than 1%, the Ministry of Women and Child Development reported that the system couldn't even accurately distinguish between boys and girls. The same article raised the issue of privacy and surveillance concerns of the citizens. For facial recognition systems to work in the context of crime prevention, they must necessarily collect, store, and analyze data from every individual who is captured by the camera to recognize suspects or persons of interest. In other words, if a system has to carry out the task of recognition in these use cases, it has to sort a positive match from a sea of negative ones. Authorities deploying facial recognition must reckon that however laudable the goal of facial recognition systems may be, mass surveillance is a prerequisite for them to achieve these goals. In Delhi, police used the facial recognition technology to identify alleged culprits during the communal violence that rocked the city in February this year. The Internet Freedom Foundation, a New Delhi-based digital rights and liberties NGO, had then tweeted, the facial recognition system has been fed data from Aadhaar, driving license and voter ID databases. The use of Aadhaar for this purpose without any judicial authorization violates the judgment of the Supreme Court in KS Puttaswamy versus Union of India 2019.